Aquaman 65. Kelly Sue DeConnick writing with Miguel Medoncha on the art. So this ends the run. It ends Kelly Sue's run. And they've been teasing a wedding for a while between Mira and Volko. Of course, the ending of this issue, we actually finally have the wedding. I feel like Kelly Sue, when she was brought into this book, this was probably what she was brought in to do, is to basically get to the point where we finally marry off Mira and Arthur.
Yeah, this has been, again, in terms of things feeling like closing the Rebirth era. Like, this is something that was going on right at the start.
Yeah, it was promised in that one shot, and the Rebirth one shot, and here we are 4 years later, 4.5 years later, and it's finally happened. They've finally been married. And it's a solid issue. It doesn't really do anything super surprising. I like all the water gods and whatnot being called upon to help, and I like even the Justice League show up with breathers on to help with the fight.
It does feel a little bit like they're just here.
It does, but at the same time, like, it's actually a really fair complaint in a lot of solo books where why don't they call in some of the Justice League to help with this situation? It feels like this is a job for the whole team.
It does, but then we see the Justice League in literally one panel standing behind him, and then I don't think they do anything in the rest of the issue.
They show up to the wedding. Don't downplay that.
Okay, fine. They show up, but other than that, they just float behind Arthur for 2 or 3 panels in the entire book.
Because it's not really that much of a fighting issue. It's more about making the grandstand, and even of course the Dagon or Dagonians, or whatever you pronounce the Dagon race. Like them turning on arms a big deal, because Dolphin's kind of showing the guy the error of his ways, and they're even able to convince the woman that's trapping Mira to let her go. So it's basically this idea that the Mira is like, hey, we've failed your people, just like we failed Atlanteans. We're going to try and work out something, and take us into a better place going forward. Even the widowhood, Cetia gets to see the poverty in Atlantis and goes, oh shit, maybe I've been ignoring some of this a little bit high and mighty in my tower. And all this is fine. That was a sharp one.
Yeah, sorry.
So, we finally have Mira and Arthur playing mum and dad, feeding the baby, all the rest of it. And we have what I think is a wonderful fake out where there's a tentacle monster attacking a ship, but it turns out to be that guy that we had the whole arc about. I forget his name, but the lighthouse keeper.
Not Lovecraft.
Yes, who was turning into the monster, and he's actually faked this for them, and they've got people ready at the boat. It's a surprise, wedding, which is a weird concept when you think about it. People don't. I mean, surprise parties are one thing, but surprise, we're getting married today. It's something you really don't spring on someone typically often, but it does make sense given their weird, journey to get here. So you got the Justice League, you got all the people, the water gods, and Mother Shark's narrating the whole thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, it ends with them being married, and it's the sweet kind of. I don't know if it's a farewell to the book as a whole, because this wasn't officially done.
No, it's still got issues in Endless Winter.
Yeah, but are they actually numbered as the main book, or are they Endless Winter 1 and 2? I think. Or something like that.
No,
that's not numbered.
66.
Yeah, it's Future State that they're all minis. Yeah, next month's still get numbered issues. Yeah, you're right.
I just checked. It has the Endless Winter checklist at the back.
Oh, very good. So I wonder if. Yeah, so I wonder if this numbering continues in March, if Aquaman's still going, is there a bold new direction? And if there is a bold new direction, do we get to keep the marriage? I hope we do. I hope that's not something that's just swept under the rug because continuity's been warped again.
Yeah, that would be really frustrating.
Especially...
we spent 4.5 years getting to this point, and then it undone 3 months later.
Especially since the whole thing in Metal is that the idea that everything happened. So the idea that they're promoting that in Metal, but then things like this are immediately undone at the end of it would feel really disingenuous.
Yeah, it would.
So I'd hope not, but I mean, I enjoyed the issue. I think we said that the break, which was unfortunate, and out of it, no one's at fault for it, but the break off did kind of hurt the last issue a little bit. This one, I think, worked a little bit better because it wasn't really about the specifics of who was where and who was doing what. It just kind of paid off everything that the run had been doing with the characters. So
yeah, I was going to say it felt a little bit rushed, this issue. It felt like we went through quite a few beats. We wrapped up the stuff, down below, and then we did the tour of the multiple epilogues. I felt like
I
I
thought
needed another issue at the end of this run
I
here.
think it is. I think it was supposed to be more. I think it was cut down probably because of the reason why they had to delay it in the first place and put in a couple of fill-in issues.
Do you think maybe Kelly Sue actually had an extra 2 issues planned, and that's why we got the 2-issue fill-in? We're still going to end here because they wanted it for Endless Winter, so it had to end here regardless.
I could see a lot of the. I could have seen almost a full issue of Orm and Arthur like duking it out and like sort of like trying to debate while fighting before all the big.
I mean, it kind of just felt like by that point, and then everyone go, do you know what? We kind of think they're right. It all kind of happened very quick, and then we kind of rushed through all the epilogue stuff.
I think just like the Gap, I think this is a case of, unfortunately, we just she had to take extra time and knew that, okay, I can't do 4 issues, I can only do 2 now, and the story had to be condensed into 2 issues. And I think that's just the
I get it. That's the reality of it, and I'm not going to hold it against it too much. But it does. I did feel it while I was reading it. Is kind of what I'm getting at. I did feel that we're kind of getting through this kind of quick.
I did.
Perfectly solid issue.
I did like though that the ending does incorporate the sea gods. It incorporates the Kraken dude. It incorporates everything that's kind of been in the run, which makes it all feel like part of one whole. Even though, it is in a lot of ways just capping off what Aquaman has been since the start of Rebirth. And I think I can respect that. I also really like Jackson kind of like jumping in and giving Orm what for, and like he gives this speech about being good or whatever, and he sort of stops after he's done and looks, oh sorry Arthur, I probably stepped on your toes there a little bit, and Aquaman is just like chuffed and just gives him a fist pump. I don't know, like that I thought that was a neat moment, because as much as the Jackson like fill in 2-parter wasn't that great, I think Jackson's inclusion in the run in general has been pretty good. And it's nice for him to have a moment like that. It kind of felt like it elevated him a little bit, just having this moment where he stands up to Orm and says, "What the hell, dude? Shut up."
and that pretty much sums up this issue for me. There are a lot of good moments. Like, there are a lot of really good moments. It just doesn't feel like they're given space to breathe. Like, hell, even like right at the end where they're finally just being parents. I could have done with a few more pages of this.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Just some banter between them of normalcy was nice. And also, how the hell does Mira get changed so quick?
It's that Zabellian genealogy, that's all it is. No, it's delightful. You got bridesmaids, including Wonder Woman. Oh god, what's her name? Tula? Yeah. And of course Dolphin there. Bridesmaid.
Yep.
So, I mean, all of it works. Like I say, it's a bit rushed, but it's kind of the unfortunate circumstance that that was dealt to Conic, to the whole team. But all of the beats are nice at the end, and I'm kind of happy with the thing. I've enjoyed the Conics run. I do think obviously the first couple of arcs were definitely the high points. Obviously, things get in the way a little bit with the last arc, because it was essentially only 3 arcs ultimately.
It was, yeah. I think the first arc was still the strongest for me.
I think I like the second one a bit more because I like I love the small town vibes when Aquaman sort of spends time in the town in the bay and
I think they're probably both equally well written. I think this is just different tastes at this point.
Very possibly. It's funny because I thought it was kind of on track to maybe being like the best Aquaman run that I've read. I don't think it ever really quite got there though, and what I mean by that is I do think not the whole run, but the best of Abnett's run, I think probably still stands above what we've had.
The back half, third, whatever it was, from when Sejic came on.
Yeah, that issue 25 on, pretty much.
Yeah.
That said though, I love that alien style arc at the end of the teens, so I mean, I'd say about there on is pretty great. But clearly, yes, when you got to issue 25, it was like a step up in overall quality.
That chunk of his run is probably the best that I've read, but as a whole run, I don't know. There's some stuff at the start that drags it down quite a lot, right?
Oh, there is. But there's definitely more heights in there than I'd say this got to, and definitely more than Johnsy's run. And I did enjoy Johnsy's run, but
very solid, yeah. And this was, again, barring the unfortunate circumstance of this final arc, it was very consistent. I would say this run was, but it didn't have the heights that it maybe promised in those first few.
Don't
arcs.
get me wrong. I'm looking forward to someday reading through this run again, but skipping all the fill-ins. There was that one issue fill-in a while ago, going in this 2-part fill-in that we just had. Like, I think this will read quite well when it's just on its own as 3 trades or one big hardcover, whatever it is. So there you go. What are you giving this final Deconic issue of Aquaman?
I'm going to give it a 7 because I do like everything in it, but I don't think I am in good conscience to give it anything higher than that.
Yeah, I'll agree with the 7. This, yeah. No, it's unfortunate, obviously, the things that have fell upon it, but I mean, it's just kind of. I mean, some 2020s hit other things much harder than this book get hit. So I mean, I can't really be too mad.
In the grand scheme of things of the world, it's pretty not that bad.
Well, I was just even thinking other forms of entertainment in terms of stuff being cancelled or delayed or whatever. Like,
when was the last time we had a new movie?